So where do we start from?
I was speaking very good English.
So today we have Emmanuel Chagara with us on that podcast, and he is passionate about technology and has dedicated his work to supporting businesses and individuals in securely integrating technology into their daily operations.
Yeah, Milima Security is a Ugandan cybersecurity firm on a mission of securing Africa's digital future. Basically, our priority is in ensuring that your data, your systems, and trust is secured and protected. And that's what we have dedicated our work to doing.
Hi, welcome back to the ICT podcast where we are serving the tea on Uganda's innovation space. My name is Winfred Nankanja and I'm your host for today. With 14 years of experience across ICT sectors, he is a technology enthusiast in ICT infrastructure development, software development, cybersecurity, and big data. Are you hearing that CV?
Wait.
He has spoken at various forums within Uganda and across East Africa on issues of information security, data privacy, emerging technology, among others. Emmanuel is a member of the National Information Security Advisory Group of Uganda and a member of the European Union CyberNet Expert Group and the founder and CEO of Milima Security and Milima Cyber Academy. Well done, Emmanuel, on that CV.
I know. You know, sometimes when you hear it, you're like, wait, okay, is that me?
Yeah, totally what we enjoy. Welcome to our podcast. So let's get right into it.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners who may not know you and don't know about Milima, so introduce yourself, tell us about Milima, and yeah.
Yeah, Milima Security is a Ugandan cybersecurity firm on a mission of securing Africa's digital future. Basically, our priority is in ensuring that your data, your systems, and trust is secured and protected. And that's what we have dedicated our work to doing. So through our cybersecurity functions, we provide penetration testing exercises. That's what we call ethical hacking. Sometimes when people hear the word ethical hacking, there's a cringe. But yes, this is a positive aspect of the hacking where we hack systems to identify vulnerabilities and then inform the system owners about it. We also do what we call forensics investigation, where we it's a post-mortem exercise. Ideally, when an incident occurs on your system, there is a hack, there's a loss. We come in to ascertain the nature of the loss and then help you to get whether legal recourse or apprehend the criminals by identifying how the attack was done, who did it, when it was done, and all that. Over and above that, we provide monitoring to ensure that your systems never get hacked in the first place. So we have 24/7 security monitoring on client infrastructure through our security operations center that is based here in Kampala. So we are able to provide complete surveillance against any forms of unknown cyber threats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
So let's rewind a little. So what key challenge sparked the creation of cybersecurity, of a cybersecurity company? What inspired you and you're like, you know what? We need something like this in our country.
Well, you've used the word rewind, so let's really rewind it.
Okay.
To 2014, when at the time I was the head of ICT at a university, and we were providing general IT services and all of this, the necessary support services in IT. We didn't have a function of IT security. In one incident, our systems got hacked. Right from the vice chancellor to everyone else, people were receiving malicious emails, but these were not just malicious emails, they were very targeted, and it was damaging the identity of the institution, especially the management teams. So I was under pressure to find out who was doing it, because they had hacked our emails and they were using our own university emails. But I had completely no skills in responding to this kind of threat. So I struggled to find out how the attack was done. I looked around within the country, any company that could come to my help, and completely there was no one. So I had to figure out how to get out of this crisis. Started reading as many materials as possible, and at that point I realized that we didn't have capacity as a country in terms of cyber threats, how to respond to this kind of incident, or even just the skilling from that perspective. So this was my initial inspiration into focusing more on cybersecurity. I was really very passionate about hacking things. It wasn't structured. So yeah, we from there on, I had to embark on a journey of building my own capacity in cybersecurity, taking the necessary trainings across. Right from Cisco, I was one of those people who studied Cisco security and CCNA security and the rest. But then along the way, of course, I was also passionate about entrepreneurship. I had already launched my first company in 2012, which had successfully died, but somewhere around the road, down the road, there was still the passion to do something. So fast forward 2016 is when this fire comes back and we say, you know what, let's get on a journey of building a cybersecurity company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. So now cybersecurity can sound a bit abstract. So can you paint a picture for people like how your business protects, how Milima Cybersecurity can protect someone's business? You get, how do you do it? What solutions do you have in place to protect people?
Certainly. I'm going to tell you two stories. One, this night leading into today, we spent a good 3 hours firefighting a very massive threat on one of our clients who are based in South Sudan. This is a very big government organization. I received a call at around 9:30 p.m. There was a major crisis on their systems. So our security incident response team immediately hit the ground running, and we started firefighting those threats. We were able to clean up every mess that was created. The emails had been already compromised. The websites were down, about to be compromised. There were several other systems that were already undergoing a massive threat. So there was an overwhelming threat on their system from multiple sources. So our team was able to immediately respond and contain all of the threats. Systems were restored. By around midnight, everything was good. By this work, we were able to secure this organization from any other incident. Today morning, they're up and going about with their work. Many of them will never know what went through.
Because innovation never sleeps.
It never sleeps. Yeah, so that's one incident. Earlier this year, we were contacted by a lady who had, there was a very interesting story. She trusted one of her friends and they got into a certain deal to sell her land, but under a certain framework which they had agreed. Think of it like a real estate approach. So their plan was to increase the value, the value of the land, and then sell it in a good way. So to do that, she transferred the land titles to the friend in a trusting format. She was trusting this person. Things backfired, and this person turned around and said, no, this is all my land and there is nothing you're saying. In fact, I don't know what you're talking about. About 2.5 billion worth of property was on the line, and they ran to court. So from there, she was almost lost for evidence until she remembered that she had recorded this conversation, the initial part of it, which was about 2 years prior. She had recorded that agreement, but she had since lost the phone, and she almost had no evidence. So we went through multiple ways of recovery to get evidence of that audio recording and the video recording. Myself and the team, we went to the court and presented it as expert witnesses to validate her case. That case has gone on to be dismissed. She has won the case. She has recovered her property. Through our forensic services, we were able to give her back 2.5 billion worth of her assets. So this is what we do: securing systems, assets, and trust.
Okay, that will lead me to my next question. How do you assure people that, you can trust us? How do you gain that security, that assurance from people? Because, of course, not everyone understands cybersecurity. You've mentioned big terms here about what, about forensic, what. So, how do you get that trust from your clients that they can give you this opportunity to secure their data?
Well, trust is built. Trust is earned. It's not, you can't demand it, you can't pay for it, you just have to earn it.
Okay.
And 8 years of our work has brought us to this place where now we can be trusted. We have worked on several systems for high profile agencies. We have delivered without any compromise. There has not been a question of integrity. There has not been a question of any broken ethics or whatever. So this is where we have come to in terms of building trust with clients, because issues of cybersecurity, it's a very thin line. 1 minute you're the savior, the next minute you're the villain. So our efforts towards ensuring that we always stay on the right side also comes at a very, very big investment. For example, we make sure that our teams are extensively vetted. You don't just join our security team. We have to vet you extensively in terms of your ethical and integral values, in terms of where you stay, next of kin and next of kin and all that. Because we're going to entrust you with very sensitive data. Some of these things can change your life in a minute. Yet if you work with us, it might take longer to change your life. So some people will not choose to wait that long. They would rather hit the system that they have been entrusted with. So we try to make sure that we vet our security teams, but generally the entire staff team. We make sure that we put in place necessary security controls. There's what we call zero trust policy. So zero trust policy basically is putting in place all the controls to ensure that even if someone is tempted, yeah, they cannot do it. They cannot do it. So there is someone watching over someone's watching over someone, such kind of stuff. It really ensures that the assets that we have been entrusted with are secure. The systems that we protect, yeah, they are secure. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. You recently took part of the Japan study tour organized by the Ministry of ICT in partnership with Japan International Cooperation Agency. What was one of the eye-opening opportunities that you saw there in the cybersecurity space?
Awesome. One of the opportunities that I identified was the aspect of providing cybersecurity labor force or skilled teams through the BPO program. For many of the institutions that we discussed with, you would see that there was a shortage of skilled labor in terms of cybersecurity, and evidently, of course, also shown by the small labor force in Japan supporting the very big economy that they have. So here we have opportunities to extend our security arm in their work. In the introduction, I didn't mention, but I think you mentioned it. We run a cybersecurity academy, and every year we're training over 300 professionals in various fields of cybersecurity. So being able to extend this kind of skilled teams to work in various business units in the Japan companies, even if it's remotely, that's a very big opportunity. But then also, particularly integrating into their work process flow, especially say software development teams and companies, software development companies and all that. So taking on the cybersecurity arm that is provided by Milima, which is a very big opportunity for us in that market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were there specific technologies or practices that you saw in Japan cybersecurity that we can implement in Uganda?
Not even just talking about cybersecurity, but man, the timekeeping. The timekeeping. My goodness. My life has changed since then. I make sure I am 5 minutes early before any meeting because to those guys, timekeeping is worse than assassination.
Yeah.
I remember one gentleman, in a certain city called Kobe City who said, even if there is a tornado, they will show up 5 minutes early to a meeting. And for me, that's a very big challenge. Our work in cybersecurity is about time. In the nick of time, you can lose a lot. So if you're not becoming more efficient in the way you manage your time and the process flow, you are going to lose it. And then also something else that I learned from there is communication. They communicate so frequently on any processes or projects. I observed that this was a gap that we had. For example, when we're doing projects, we do weekly updates. For them, it's daily updates. Sometimes it's even almost half a day update. You understand? In those more frequent communications, you're able to improve and correct any errors before allowing it to flow for a full week. Yeah. So for me, those are really things that I brought back with me, and we're already helping to improve our own efficiency at Milima. But in terms of cybersecurity, yes, I encountered several organizations such as Future Group, among others, that there are so many opportunities that I see in terms of vulnerability management. They have some very amazing tools there. There is a lot of room for us to learn from them as well, from their advanced technologies. Yeah.
Okay. So usually cybersecurity is overlooked until there is an emergency, picking from how you started your company.
Yeah.
So why is it important for businesses, governments, individuals like myself to, highly be into cybersecurity, to look into it, to listen into what cybersecurity is about? Why should I protect my data?
Yeah. There's a proverb in my language. It says, I'm going to translate it. The stick that was used to cane your co-wife will one day be used on you. In other words, we can't turn a blind eye to the very many threats that we see occurring to businesses. From time to time, we're seeing banks and other institutions getting hacked. It's very easy for you to say, well, I'm not a bank, I don't have money. But then we are seeing, study has now shown that 45% of attacks these days are targeting SMEs. You see, 45%. Okay. Last year, Uganda reported 436 cases of cyber threats. That's according to the CID report, rising from 286 in 2023. That's over 52% rise in reported cases. These are things that should tickle us a certain way. And if you're a business owner, you should be concerned, because it's only a matter of time. They always say cyber attacks is no longer a question of if, it's a question of when.
Of course.
The World Economic Forum now ranks cyber risks among the top 3 biggest risks for any business. This means that if you're running a business, whether it's a small e-commerce store, you're selling shoes and you're receiving payments through mobile money, or you're running a multinational e-commerce store, or you're running a bank, or you're running a circle, or you're selling clothes down in Chiembele, it doesn't matter. We are all some way, somehow vulnerable to cyber threats. In Uganda, for example, digital fraud is right now one of the biggest threat attack techniques that we're seeing. People are being manipulated over mobile money. There's a lot of mobile money fraud, e-wallet frauds, internet banking frauds. These are things that affect everyone and can affect anyone. It doesn't matter what rank you are. And so if we can appreciate this, then it's easier for us to know, let me build the necessary controls before something bad happens. Would you build a house and not put a door? Then why do we build our systems and not want to implement controls? You see that? Yeah.
Okay. So the tech ecosystem in Uganda is growing fast. So how has, being part of the broader innovation space, also being, part of the people we have worked with at the Innovation Hub, how has it shaped your company's innovation journey?
Awesome. First of all, I want to thank the National ICT Innovation Hub. We have been partners and part of the community from now maybe over 3-5 years actively. Among the many initiatives that we have conducted is the annual Cybersecurity Awareness Month that we have done jointly with the National ICT Hub, with the Ministry of ICT, plus several other partners in the private sector. Through this work, we have been able to educate the public, create mass awareness on the threats around cyber attacks, and generally it has created a better posture for many of the people who have been a beneficiary of this. But directly it has also benefited Milima, because through our work it has been able to create better visibility of our work. People are able to appreciate the need for cybersecurity, and definitely it has also translated into growth, financial growth, capacity growth, client growth. So really the innovation space, the ICT hub has been a very, very, very vital aspect of our success.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are coming to the end of the podcast. So what would you like to tell people out there in regards to cybersecurity? Like you said, why would you build a house and not put a door? Why did we just wait for the cyber attack? Even me, who doesn't have a business,
Yeah.
why should I, protect my data? I have a laptop. One time when I first met you, you found my laptop open and you were like, now see, you can be attacked. So what would you tell people out there, individuals, businesses, just to ensure to promote cybersecurity awareness, since we are going into the month for awareness?
Absolutely. Yeah, Uganda has been enjoying a very exponential rise in terms of digital transformation. And we have seen this across the divide, across all of the sectors, whether be it agriculture or transportation or health or energy. And this rise in technology has come along with a significant threat, which is cyber threats. And many of us who are using technology for our day-to-day lives must be aware of this associated threat. Over and above the rise of technology, we are now seeing the advent of artificial intelligence plus other emerging technologies. AI in itself has the capacity to amplify a threat to over 600% more than its original capabilities. This therefore means that if I was able to attack you, say in 1 month, 600%, if you reduce that, I don't know, that would be about less than half a day. Now I'm able to create an attack and hit you. So the advent of AI plus all of these other emerging technologies can only amplify the threat. But of course, it also comes with opportunities. So what I'm trying to say is, now more than ever, we must be mindful of the threats that come along with the good technologies that we enjoy. It's upon us to put in place the necessary controls, right from the basics: strong passwords, check that your email is safe, check that your systems are continuously monitored and secure, to the bigger things. So if you can address the smaller things, in fact, study has shown that you're able to reduce on your threat by up to 85%. You see that? So the basics, we must take care of the basics in terms of our cyber hygiene. We must take care of our strong passwords, multi-factor authentication. People don't even have multi-factor. Do you know what multi-factor authentication is? If I'm logging into my email and then an OTP is sent to my phone, an SMS, then it validates the login. Something as simple as that. It creates a two-layer of login for you, and it reduces on possible hack. If someone hacks your email, they cannot steal your phone also. Yeah. So now more than ever, we need to be putting in place all of the right controls to protect our systems so that we enjoy the benefits of technology. We have a very big opportunity to leapfrog in this fourth industrial revolution as Africa. But we're not going to do that if cyber threats continues to take us backward. So we must move forward and defend ourselves. Yeah. But otherwise, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being our guest today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the innovation space, because innovation never sleeps and neither do we.